The Deputy Governor of Borno State, Zanna Mustapha, is worried with the ease at which Boko Haram has been capturing territories in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe. The three northern states would soon be history, according to him. Well, the NLC is at it again, and this time it's not about the minimum wage, but living conditions. The question is, should they have been asking for this in the first place? Well, this is Plus Politics, and I'm Maryann Okon. The Deputy Governor of Borno State has disclosed that 13 local governments in Borno, 3 in Adamawa and others in Yobe are currently under control of Boko Haram. He said, going by intelligence reports, if the federal government does not step up its security measures, the fall of the 3 states would only be a matter of days or even weeks. This is of great concern. And to look at these issues with me, I have joining me in the studio Tunji Abdul Hamid. He's a legal practitioner. It's good to have you join us, Tunji.
It's my pleasure.
And of course, we have Oluwafemi Aratokun Ale. He is a security risk crisis management consultant.
Good evening.
It's good to have you join us.
Thank you so much.
Interesting. So I think my first question should come to you because this seems to be your forte. This is not the first time a governor from maybe the areas in which Boko Haram has been striking the most has raised alarm. Now, the federal government has also several times said that they've technically defeated Boko Haram, but a video surfaced last year with soldiers crying that the federal government needs to come to their aid in terms of what the equipment they were fighting with. As a security analyst and a consultant or a risk consultant, looking at this situation, what do you think the average Nigerian should be worried about? What the government says or what the Borno State government is saying?
Well, thank you for having me on your program. And I think viewers at home too will be very, very worried based on your fact findings that you just made known to the whole world right now. It's such a very worrying case that we can celebrate 10 years of the non-defeat of Boko Haram. Number one, that's a disgrace. What we should be celebrating is all about rebuilding Borno State. But it has gone past rebuilding Borno State now. We have Yobe, we have Adamawa, and we have some other states surrounding it, not leaving behind the southwest and the west. So the question is, are we actually winning this war or we are losing the war? Let's leave the idea of technically behind. I think, in my own opinion, we are losing the war.
Why do you think we're losing the war? Because, you know, for every report that comes out from the northeast, the defense headquarters has a statement to counter it. The presidential spokesperson has something else to say about it. And sometimes, you know, it looks like either something is being hidden or maybe they're trying to douse tension so that, you know.
I think in this very case, Tunji will be a very good witness. How many have we actually prosecuted so far among the insurgents being captured? That is number one. Then number two, we have so many IDP camps around. How many have we resettled back into their community? Each time military, don't get me wrong, the military are doing their best. They are fighting seriously, even with the little strength they've got, because, look, they are no magicians, they are human beings like me and you. Now we're sending them over there, they are fighting the war that doesn't even belong to them. They are not even fighting an external war, we are fighting an internal crisis. So now it's gone to a stage whereby it's either you do it or you leave. But the morality and the values of what we want to have in our pockets has left us, not like, you know what, I'll claim that thing in every single crisis. There are opportunities. And I see a lot of people, big guys, you know, making the gains of this crisis we have, leaving the vulnerable people behind. So technically,
I'm trying to understand. You're saying that
we're losing it.
Yes, you're saying that the victims of this insurgents are not necessarily a priority to the big guys, in your words.
In my words, the fact is this. We over 10 years ago, we've had so many budgets being read out, about how much we've pumped into Borno State. I think by now Borno should be looking like Emirates, like Dubai or like Abu Dhabi or like Paris or anywhere else in the whole world. But what do we see? Each time we see pictures, we see burnt cars, burnt houses. Everything is just in chaos. Everything is in chaos. By the way, the people they've actually captured so far, how many have been prosecuted?
I think that question should go to Abdulhamid, because it's the same thing, whether we're talking about the fight against corruption or we're talking about the fight against insurgents. We have not necessarily seen prosecutions that would somewhat be damaging to the enemy camp. We haven't really seen that. And there have been situations where a certain person was held and then he was released, or he was found at a governor's lodge. You know, there have been so many
issues
blurry, yes, you know, lines in this fight against insecurity. As a legal practitioner, what is the challenge as to why we cannot even at least prosecute? Because we see them parodied, but that's it.
Lack of willpower.
How do you mean? The
willingness to take the challenge and face all the consequences without regard to ethnicity, religion, or whatever. You know, we have a situation in the country whereby we try to play politics with everything, play religion with everything, play ethnicity with everything. You know, in fact, today I was reading a report. I can't remember the particular group. They were accusing the police of this allegation that about 500 Boko Haram that were arrested some time ago, whatever, have been released. That allegation, I saw it today. I can't remember the actual.
These are supposed to be prisoners of war.
I can't remember the actual group that was challenging the police in that regard. You know, the inability to prosecute or punish people who have committed crime is one of the reasons. And that was why the last time I was here, they were talking about the issue of using bandits to capture bandits. That is like we're encouraging criminality. That, you know, when you commit crime, we can reward you with another good job to be able to get more money. So, you know, the lack of prosecution is one issue. But the major issue why we're not winning the law, because for me, the statement by the Deputy Governor is an admission that we are losing what we have gained even before now. Mm-hmm. Do you get it? Because, and the reason is not far-fetched. Our militaries are doing their best in the circumstance. What do I mean by in the circumstance? Having regards to the machineries and the weapon they have compared to what the attackers are using is a child play. So you can't expect them to go and know that. Look, definitely they know that we are not well equipped in facing these people, and they are also human beings. In
2015,
they are trying their best. In
2015, when the Buhari administration came into power, they came on the heels of monies to purchase weapons of war was embezzled by a certain individual who still is in captivity. And 4 years down the line, we're still singing the same song about an ill-equipped army. Of course, not just talking about the issue of an ill-equipped army, a low morale for these officers and men. And yet, no prosecutions from the court, nothing to show that those monies have been retaken from, let's say, the person that you have in custody because he's still in your custody. We've never really heard anything concrete from the former security boss who's in their custody.
Let's even leave the issue of the one that has been embezzled. In the last 4 years, money have been budgeted for security. We have borrowed money for security. The only thing that I am aware of, as it is today, and I've not even seen it, is the Tucano jet that they say they've paid for. We have a immediate crisis at our hands. You are budgeting, you are doing future plan. We don't have to look for immediate solution before looking at the future plan. That kind of money they use in the depositing for the Tucano jet should have been used to get other immediate equipment that can help the soldier to fight the Boko Haram, and that will come quickly. You know, we have told that will come into 2020. We are still in 2019, and the crisis is still on. So, if people are now killed, or they are completely killed before that time, what will happen? You know, we need to take look for immediate solutions by looking for immediate equipment that will match the opposition.
To deal with it in the interim. Exactly. You wanted to say something?
I want to say something, yeah. I think, let me set the record straight a bit. And let me nudge it up again for you to know. I have it in record, 2016, I was in Borno State myself. Under the former governor, Shetima, I was there. I met with the civilian joint task force men. We had a meeting, and part of our meeting, part of what they are discussing and talking about is their own welfare for them to help nab all these guys we are talking about. But guess what? No welfare for them, so that will bring down their morale, and no serious empowerment for them as well. So it is much easier for them to slide back and perhaps move down to meet up with the insurgents that, you know what, don't kill me, let me be part of you, I'll give you more information of what you need, and let us hit hard and hit hard.
And this is what so many retired service chiefs have been talking about, you know, saboteurs.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Of course, the recent happening regarding the arrest of the captain. Yeah, the Wadume and the captain, it's a confirmation of what I'm saying.
It is not just an underlying factor. I was there myself. I spent good 3 days there, and I can tell you for a fact, if they have put so many recommendations I recommended for them in place, I think people would definitely want to visit Borno State. Because I even went to a nightclub there to start with. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, of course. I went there, and I was like, people never saw this and report this, that hang on a minute, they're still live in Maiduguri. But all we keep hearing is all about the sporadic bombings and a whole lot of things going on. But no one has ever said anything interesting about Borno State. And what is the VRM caption of Borno State? State of peace. So where is the peace over there today? To be honest with you, whatever the governor of this present Borno State want to do, the damage from the past administration is so enormous that I doubt if he will be able to clean it up within the next 4 years. I doubt it.
Let's go back to what the Deputy Governor said. I'd like to quote him verbatim. He said, "The situation in which we find ourselves today is grave. The former Vice President said much of Borno and the north of Adamawa and Yobe states is already at the mercy of terrorists. It started a few months ago with Bama, which is nearly 400 kilometers from Yola, the capital of Adamawa State. The next major town to be taken by terrorists is Gwoza." And he also said, this is where terrorist caliphate flag has long been hoisted.
Sure.
So if these are still in, you know, the hands of terrorists, where did we capture, or where did we...
okay.
Because, you know, we keep saying...
I will come to you on that, because frequently so many questions will come to people.
And the presidency has said that they have conquered Boko Haram so much that they have gone, they've taken them out of the city, and that they're in pockets.
That's one of our problems.
They're in hiding.
That's one of our problems. The problem of not accepting the truth. You know, if you're not telling yourself the truth.
In this case, what is the truth?
See,
in this case.
The point is this. The Borno situation is just like a pinball table tennis right now. You play to me, I play to you. You play to me, I play to you. So whoever draws first wins. Okay, let's start the game.
It's a case of insecurity. It's terrorism. Should we be ping-ponging about it?
We are ping-ponging here because we see... Look, the guys making decisions are not being affected in one way or the other. The vulnerable people are the ones suffering it. The military are the ones suffering it. I keep hammering on it. We have obsolete equipments in this country. Completely downgraded equipment in this country. However, what is the population in Borno State? Let us start from there. As far back as 2010...
Well, we haven't had census in God knows how long.
Okay, as far back as 2010, we've been, don't let me use the word killing, we've been mitigating these insurgents, mitigating them, eradicating them, pursuing them, chasing them away. Excuse me, where are they coming from?
We don't know.
We don't know. Again, what happens to our borders along the line of all these places? Are the people we're even talking about, are they real Nigerians at all?
And we've not seen so many of them being prosecuted in court. We've not seen that. We've not heard or seen that some number have been arrested and they are in court, and the court is like that of a political case whereby everybody will be interested in following. We have not seen them.
If we don't tell ourselves,
the government is not serious in that regard.
I tell you what, if we don't tell ourselves the truth, then the truth will tell us the lies. And right now, what we are saying is, okay, they are doing it. But a minute, this is the result of what
the government is not telling themselves the truth. That's the truth. Because the government that will say the Boko Haram has been defeated, Boko Haram has been captured, this and that, and they see what is happening every day, and they are not bothered. So if you don't tell yourself the truth that, look, there's crisis here, you don't look for solution. You believe you are getting the point. You know, we are told that they've gained some things before, initially when they came in. But now, as it appears to me, we have lost everything because we are told we no longer have any of our town in the hands of a Boko Haram. But today we have been told that so many of them are still in the hands of the Boko Haram, and they are still holding on to it. So that is not, that is the fact that we are not telling ourselves the truth. If we have said, look, we have not captured these people, we are trying our best in the circumstance. We have done this, we have done that, but we are still left with this. But because of politics, the people will tell us they've been defeated, they've been persuaded. So many jargon.
Why do you think that any government, and any government in this case, I'm talking about whatever government, successive governments, whether it's the Jonathan administration, the Buhari administration, would choose to not necessarily tell the truth, but paint a picture that maybe would make them look good, or again, I'm choosing my words carefully here. Maybe they're also trying not to cause more confusion or to add salt to the injury that's already been done. Why do you think this is happening?
Well, look, this is not just probably like a fake news, I'll be honest with you. It's nothing to do with fake news. This is reality. Again, if you look at the distance and the level of social media and different coverage from Adamawa, Yobe, and Borno State is very little compared to what we have in the West and in the South. So this is why we're not actually getting more information about what is going on ground over there. And again, all these places we're talking about are very remote area. However, they might be massively big in terms of land mass. But yeah, of course, it is a real big land mass. However, the farmers living there, the villagers living there, they've all moved down to what you called before Goza and Bama. They've captured it before, retaken it back again. Now it's back to their hands. The question is why not put some strategic security in place so that this set of villagers or residents there can at least provide some sort of security for themselves? It can be done, but as I've said, some sort of group of people seems to be making gains out of this, so they would never allow such to happen.
At the expense of who? Because you see, the truth is, human beings are dying, and these people have now become mere numbers.
I call it greed.
They become mere numbers, and it calls to question.
I call this
or rather, let me frame it. Does it not call to question leadership, whether it's at the state level or the federal level? You swore an oath to protect these people, to protect their lives and their property. But then their lives seems to be a play tool right now. And it's not as important or as valuable as it should be. And these people gave you their vote. So I'm wondering, see, where lies...
Then there's what we call integrity and values when it comes to leadership. We seem to stay away from the idea of leadership and values. We are suffering it today. In United Kingdom, if you are in a position and you consider, hang on a minute, I don't think I'm doing my best, or people are criticizing what you're doing, trust me, the next thing is this. My position seems to be untenable. See you later, I'm gone. Choose someone else that can steer the ship to the right direction.
In the UK?
Yeah, it happens a lot over there.
But this is Nigeria.
This is Nigeria.
Do we have any precedents?
We don't have.
Exactly.
You cannot have.
We don't have. Even at all the criticism we've been given to different people in the role of whatever role they're playing in politics and in power, it seems to care less.
As soon as you start making or criticizing policies of government or providing solution for them as to why something is not working, they see you as an opposition. In fact, I won't be surprised if the Deputy Governor of Borno State is not tomorrow accused of making a
false allegation.
Because that's why I will not count that allegation as false again, because it came from the mouth of the Deputy Governor. Deputy Governor is the second in command in the state. In the absence of the governor, it is Chief Security Officer in the state. And he is saying if care is not taken, or that northeast or whatever will be captured by the Boko Haram, because some of them have been captured already. So I don't want to see that one as a fake news or whatever. It should be authentic, because it's coming from the Deputy Governor of the state, who should know better. He's the one in charge. But the question is, the Deputy Governor itself is blaming who? Because, like I said, he is also the Deputy Chief Security Officer of the state, and they are collecting security foods. What are they doing with it? How many equipment have they bought to support this fight against insurgents?
But other states, I mean, yes, states have security votes, but those votes are not necessarily to equip their army. Yes, those votes in court can be used to, maybe for the JTF, to empower them, but is it their primary responsibility?
How many JTF have been empowered? How many weapons have they provided for them? We are in this country just recently when we are told that the governor had a total number of armory in his house, and nothing has happened up to date. And we are also told that the current governor was the one who imported the arms. No question has been asked on that regard because they are in the same camp. They treated it as a family affair. So if you continue to behave like that, we can't grow. And a situation whereby the government will go ahead and negotiate with Boko Haram, pay them money, and then they will rejuvenate again, come back and fight us, buy more equipment for themselves and fight us. We cannot get to anywhere. We have been told there is ceasefire agreement between them and the Boko Haram. The Boko Haram they are still striking.
Where do we go from here, lastly?
There is no... we have a solution, but the question is, are they ready to listen and hold on to the solution and work on the solution? The question is, if they don't... So
there are solutions. It's not like it's rocket science. It's not like it's nowhere to be found. No, there are solutions.
There are solutions.
And you're certain that there are solutions that we can actually... that we can actually bring to bear, because it sounds like...
Let me tell you one thing.
We're unable to find solutions.
Again, you see, when we foresee things that might likely happen, we bring about attention to such states, and we tell them, but the ego attitude is in our leaders. They don't want to see you telling them what might likely happen. Rather, they want it to happen first. Then the next thing, start looking for quick fix.
So we're reactionary instead of being proactive.
That more money will come from them.
Yes, because they don't want to see any proactiveness in what they want to do. They want to see the crisis happen first. Then they will start looking elsewhere for what is not going to work. So this is one of the biggest problems we're having in Nigeria today. It's
quite unfortunate, but I want to say thank you to you, Tunji Abdul Hamid. He's a legal practitioner, and of course, Oluwafemi Aratokun Ale. He's a security risk crisis management consultant. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll be talking about the NLC and what they're clamoring for right now. Stay with us.